What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be watching the original 2002 Sam Raimi Spider-Man film. This is personally one of my favorite movies of all time. If you guys have been on my channel, you guys know how much I love the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. So I want to go ahead and give you guys my commentary on this movie because I love the hell out of it, and I want to get into further detail as to why I love it so much. So without any more time wasted, let's get right into this. One of the few opening credit sequences that I never want to skip solely because of the music. Danny Elfman's score is by far and away the definitive Spider-Man score. I don't think anyone's really arguing that. There have been some good ones that came out. Hans Zimmer did an okay one and they made Spider-Man 2. James Horner did another good one. They made Spider-Man, but this is unparalleled. This is by far and away the Spider-Man theme, and it's one of the main reasons why I never skip the opening credit sequence in these films. Looking at this now, this is kind of cheesy, but quite honestly, this establishes the tone that this movie's going for so well. I mean, the bus driver's not stopping for him. In what world would that ever happen? But again, I think it establishes the tone very well. You feel bad for Peter. You see who he loves, who is going to be the inevitable love interest. I think this is a nice little scene. We get the introduction of Harry and Norman Osborn, Peter's best friend and his father. If you guys are Spider-Man fans, you know exactly how this dynamic is going to work, who the villain is, and it's going to be great. You can kind of see how Harry's kind of jealous how Peter can connect with his own father better than he can in the background. Nice subtle touch there. And from then on, Peter's life is changed forever. I like how Oscorp here just looks like a run-of-the-mill factory. Doesn't look so very obviously evil, big tower in the city. You know, this is very clearly just a corporation, and it's not over the top and villainy. It's just a place, you know? It's just a place. The definitive Uncle Ben and Aunt May right here, ladies and gentlemen. I remember seeing this scene back then and just like being freaked out at how sickly and how this whole scene feels. It's just, it reeks of you know, just sickness. And I think this holds up a lot better than I remember it. I remember that part freaked me out the very first time I ever saw this movie. And how can anyone ever forget this moment right here? He puts on the glasses and he can't see with them. He's gained his eyesight, and then you see his body is just completely changed. Unlike what we just saw, dude's muscular and built as hell. I don't know why, I always find that funny. I always look out for that little wall climb he does when he comes down the stairs. You know, I was really rooting for him to like catch up to the bus this time because you just got bit by the spider. You clearly have some superpowers. I wish he would have caught up and, I don't know, just done something cool there. But there will be more moments for him to do cool shit, I promise you.
Last night I was...
This is another jump scare that got me back in the day.
I don't remember.
This one came out of nowhere. At least the other one you could kind of see coming. But this, man, I keep saying iconic scenes and moments, but this movie's full of them. When he catches the food on the tray, and of course, well, maybe not all of you know, but he actually did do that. That was a real stunt he did, and they had to do it over and over again until he caught everything on the plate. It's just, this movie is filled with just magical movie moments that we just all love.
You just get contacts?
And just the smile he gives her. No response. This is classic Peter Parker. I love it. And of course, you see the fist. That effect of Flash with the fist has not aged the best. I will not lie. But it's still great. Okay, you're going to hear me say iconic and great moment over and over in this video, so I apologize ahead of time. But how could you not talk about this? The iconic wall climbing. It's just so good. The music is in sync with every time he goes up the wall. His face of just astonishment at what's happening. It's like you're becoming Spider-Man with him. Truly, it's just such a great feeling. This movie fills me with happiness, guys. It just does. You know, a lot of people talk down on this dynamic between MJ and Peter, but I'm not going to lie. I think there's a lot more heart than people give it. I don't think it's as bad as people say or people claim. I think the writing for Mary Jane could have been better for sure, but I think them two, they do have a certain chemistry to them that I still think is pretty strong even after 18 years. You know, it scares me to even say this movie's 18 years old, but I still think these two do have chemistry together. The real problem is sometimes the way she's written is not always the greatest, but that's just my opinion. And I think this scene is a great example of them showing their chemistry, showing how great they can be on screen together. What more is there to say about this scene? With great power comes great responsibility. Absolutely just iconic. It's engraved in our brains forever as film fans. It's just, it's a beautiful moment. It really is. You might as well just stay up there if you're Peter. You're going to win. Just stay 3 minutes up on the cage. You don't have to do anything. And he finally uses his webs for the first time in a more acrobatic style, more Spider-Man style. Love it. I don't know, man. At the moment, I agree with Peter. You know, you got cheated out of money. They just got robbed. My ego might get in the way of me too. You know, obviously hindsight is 2020. We know what comes after this, but in the moment, I don't know, man. I might do the same. This scene still crushes me. It's 18 years later, and this is just a crushing scene. Because you see him at least communicate to Peter one last time. They at least get their one last chance to speak to each other, hold each other's hands. This is truly the catalyst of what made Spider-Man Spider-Man. And this scene could not have been done any more beautifully than it is done right here. And all that adrenaline got to him. And now that he's up top, you know, he kind of has second thoughts of what he's about to do. But of course, we get that great Spider-Man swinging sequence for the first time. It's a magical moment. It really is. The first time we ever really get to see Spider-Man swing on screen, on the big screen. Man, this just always fills me with such excitement. A rush of just, I don't even know what you would call it. Happiness? Euphoria? I don't know what I'm trying to say. This is just, I love seeing these moments. That silhouette in the back is incredible. Immaculate. Hey man, Peter technically didn't do anything. You know, he kind of did it to himself. And no words are spoken. They just hug it out because you know what happened. You know, there's nothing to say. Let the actors do their thing. And this scene transition is, it's something else. It's definitely Sam Raimi. The explosions turn into the graduation caps. Are you kidding? Incredible. Aunt May just has such a presence to her, like a warmth that just embodies the screen. This is just, the acting is invisible. It is invisible. And again, the Danny Elfman score cannot be overstated enough of how good it is, especially in montages like this, where this is just pure Spider-Man. Pure Spider-Man. Talk about iconic. Somebody keep count of how many times I say iconic in this video. It's going to be way more than 3. Incredible performance by J.K. Simmons. Absolutely perfect. Probably the greatest comic book casting of all time. So good, he went into the MCU universe, and it's just incredible. What other actor was able to switch universe from Sony to Disney like that? It's incredible. So good, perfect for the role. And of course, we all know J.K. Simmons is just a beast of an actor, absolute monster. You just gotta love him. The whole love triangle thing still works for me. Harry likes MJ, Peter likes MJ, but Harry and MJ are together, but Peter wants MJ, but Peter wants to be a good friend to Harry, but Harry didn't tell Peter about the relationship. You know, I dig the love triangle still to this day. I don't think it's too goofy or poorly done. I'm for it. Man, this screams early 2000s, and I love every second of it. Singular? I don't even remember the last time I said those words out loud. Apart from some choreography decisions done in this action sequence, it still easily holds up to this day. Sam Raimi was a master of Spider-Man action, in my opinion, and this is just another example of it. I mean, you see here, like, the kid could have moved out of the way, but little things like that, but it's still so good. This guy always makes me laugh. He always gets knocked over. Like, the choreography here seems a little like it was not even rehearsed. They're just kind of like punching and kicking and elbowing around, but it still works in my opinion. It still works. And I like that there's more practical effects than just CGI effects. I think the abundance of CGI can kind of mask away the director's vision, in my opinion. So I do like that there's some more practical stuff going on. And of course, everyone always mentions how this is clearly not a person in that suit and how her hair is not blowing the right way. You know, it is what it is. No movie's perfect. Only Willem Dafoe could pull off such a performance like this. He's just looking in the mirror and having to go from the Green Goblin to Norman to Green Goblin to the Norman. It's so seamless. Now, granted, a good amount of that is editing, don't get me wrong. But still, the performance here is so good. You really feel like it's two different people talking, because it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be two different entities. And it's still so good. Oh man, the cigarette coming back. You knew some shit was about to go down. That was I don't know how they did that effect. It must have been practical to a certain extent. Looks great. And he doesn't give away Peter's identity. He does have a heart, ladies and gentlemen. He does have a heart. One of my favorite moments in this whole movie coming up right now. Blink and you'll miss it.
Right.
There it was. Hope you didn't blink. Man, this scene kicked so much ass back in the day, and it still does to this day. Still does. Just seeing him beat the hell out of these guys after they were going to assault Mary Jane. You just wanted to see this happen. You wanted to see Peter kick some ass. Who doesn't know about the upside down kiss? Even if you haven't seen this movie, which how have you not seen this movie after 18 years? But even if you haven't, everybody knows about the upside down kiss in the rain. That is a testament to how beautiful this scene is. That slow motion bit, bro. Why is that still so awesome? 18 years later, it still kicks ass. Again, those beautiful scene transitions. Sam Raimi, how do you do it? How do you do it? Talk about tension, man. Seeing this for the first time, hoping that Norman wouldn't do something as simple as just look up. That would have just given everything away. But then when he does, of course, he is no longer there. But where is he? Right there. Willem Dafoe's performance is so good. I think it's something that you can tell. It's obviously he's connected the two pieces together. He knows what's going on, and just the conflict in his head is, you can just see it unravel in his brain. Again, another moment where I think their chemistry together is not appreciated enough. And I get it. The way she's written is not always great. It's not. I will be the first to admit. But I really do think that their chemistry, they have something there. More so in this movie than 2 and 3. You know, that might be an unpopular opinion, but I genuinely think that this scene and the one way earlier in the movie are just prime examples of it. They do have great chemistry with each other. I love this part. Seeing how Peter knows that he knows, you know, that moment in his brain that just goes off is great. A great performance. I love that shot of the eyepieces. You see both of them falling at the same time in his eyepiece. That is just a great shot. And of course, you can't just save one. Come on. He wouldn't be Spider-Man if you couldn't save them both. Let's be real. I always love seeing any scene in a Spider-Man film where the people of New York come to help Spider-Man in some way. It always is just so great. It's great to see. This is so brutal. The fact that they even did this in early 2000s in a Spider-Man movie. You can just really tell this is a Sam Raimi movie. You know, he was not afraid to go dark and gritty and grim. And this scene is a perfect example of that. What a perfect setup for Harry in the sequel for Spider-Man 2. He hates Spider-Man. He clearly loves Peter, best friend. That dynamic was going to be interesting, and it obviously will be, as we'll see soon in my Spider-Man 2 commentary, how their relationship develops because of this newfound hatred for Spider-Man. And we can't forget the very mature decision that Peter chose in not pursuing a relationship with Mary Jane. There's just no reason to put her and his family at risk. If he's Spider-Man, he knows what Uncle Ben told him meant something. You can't be with the girl you love and not put her in some type of harm's way. And I think this is just so beautiful that the whole movie he was chasing her, wanted to be with her, And he ultimately decides, no, I cannot be with you. This moment still, it just shows Peter's character. It really does. That last line is phenomenal. Yes, sir. Yes, you are. And this final swing is so good. So good. God. The score, the swinging, everything about it, and the American flag is just, what more could you want? What more could you want in a Spider-Man movie? It gives you happiness, joy. It gives you a sense of faith in humanity. Yeah, so good. So good. Even after 18 years, this movie is so incredible. And I am so happy that I can say that this movie has aged like a fine wine, just like all of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies. Yes, including the third one, which we will be getting to in due time, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta know, what do you think of Spider-Man? What do you think? Do you think this movie has held up? Do you think this movie has not aged the best again? You know my opinion. I adore this movie, but there is a Spider-Man movie I adore just a little bit more, and we will be getting to that in due time. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know if you guys enjoyed this video, what other movies you'd like to see me commentate and react to. There are an endless amount of movies I can pick from, so please leave your recommendations down below. And with all that being said, I will catch you all next time, and thank you for watching.